SBC are having to reflect what's going on in the economy. We're very much focused on making sure that the economic drivers with CSR are very much related. So with everything going on in most of Europe, all of Europe, and particularly around job creation and youth employability, we have literally done a turnaround and focused a lot of our activities on that. So it's about getting businesses into the communities, into the neighbourhoods, to try to keep young people's aspirations alive, and those who don't have any, to get them more aspirational at a time when jobs aren't being created. So it's a very difficult challenge at the moment, but I think we're in the right place, and with the help of CSR Europe and all the things I learned from all the NPOs, we're able to actually put a case together that CSR, job creation, and it's been a very exciting time, but a very difficult time. The first time I came to an NPO meeting, I just was like, National Partner Organization meeting. The first time I came to a National Partner Organization meeting, I was relieved that there was other people in the world that were doing what we were doing at Scottish Business in the Community. I knew of other organisations in Europe and worked with other organisations in the UK. But to meet 30 businesses and organisations that have the same challenges, and people who are trying to be ambassadors for CSR with lots of different stakeholders, was just really, really enlightening and very rewarding. And it's my only professional network that really, really knows what I do. So it's been very, very important to bring back the ideas of Enterprise 2020 as well, and how we can use that framework to develop our country and our people. It's been very, very useful. I've been involved for 3 years, and I've been on the board for almost 1, and it's an invaluable network. I have to be honest, Enterprise 2020 as a concept initially has not been, the brand has not worked necessarily for us in some ways, because Enterprise has a different connotation in Scotland. That we think of social enterprise, we think of enterprise learning in schools. So I've had to sort of get the team on side, and I think I'm there now. But the concept behind Enterprise 2020 is 100% valid with what we do, and we now actually are starting to use the brand along with the framework and the sharing that we do now that other national partner organisations are really getting up to speed and doing lots of projects, and the themes, particularly making sure that we're focusing on the really strong themes that are important, is really, really important. We have been slow to start, but we've got huge big plans going forward about how we can contribute to that, the whole Enterprise 2020, including some European project work as well that we're doing. So it's fantastic. That's interesting. We have been doing with member companies lots of workshops and lots of facilitated sessions at all levels in a business, operational people, strategic people, and that's how we find out what the vision is. As individuals, I think they look at Scotland as a country and Scotland's values, and the idea of wealth creation and distribution being more fair, I think is quite strong in Scotland, and I think our CSR values reflect that. But we are in a globalizing world. We are in the northwest fringes of Europe, and how are we going to be competitive while at the same time we're being fair to people and setting a good example for the world as it develops? It's a really difficult one, but I think Scotland's got a significant role, which is why this network is also good and why Enterprise 2020 good, because we can use these networks to talk about what we do in Scotland. Difficult. Social innovation is happening, and now we have a label for it, social innovation, and immediately people who are like, oh. However, I have to say, it's definitely 100% happening, but people don't realize, even with SMEs, small, medium-sized enterprises, people are innovating. I met a company who makes bearings, ball bearings. It used to be for more traditional industries. Now he's looking to innovate. Small company, innovate and do things, and in the wind industry. People are doing it. They are making these changes. They're innovating. In the social front, I would say it's more difficult than the environment front, but people Scotland has to export to really be a strong country, and we have to innovate for bottom of the pyramid people and the rest of the world. And that is, I think, the challenge, to show particularly our growing SMEs and our corporates who have significant presence in Scotland, that the market is one that they have to go after, and that CSR will help them do that. So it is a challenge, definitely. But I think the buzzword aside, so social innovation, it's where CSR has to be now. It's not about the add-ons. It's about your core services and your core products and your marketplace and your customers. So it's very, very important. What do? I have to be honest. Community, environment, they have been stronger for us than the actual marketplace and the products and services. There's 3 or 4 of us colleagues who are sort of putting together some products and services at the moment. But mostly what we do is we get out there and we talk to people. We give them a space, we give them a friend, somebody who's sort of an honest friend who doesn't have a vested interest per se, and we give them the time and the space and the sounding board to enable businesses and people from all levels of businesses to get together to have these conversations. And even in some of the most enlightened companies, there is no space in that organization where people of different levels and different bits of the organization can come together and have these conversations. So for us to come in and facilitate that, and to be an independent facilitator, not an internal one, is hugely important. And what comes out of that is up to them, really, to be honest. We can help them so far, but we can't do it for them. We have to just give them a guiding hand and encouragement. SBC Support Broker Challenge. So.